Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Code, humor in South Texas law enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone, with my partner, J-Man, by my side. Got my back as always.
Yeah, of
What's
course.
up?
Bye.
Yeah. It's Sunday morning. I'm not at the top of my game this morning.
Yeah.
I know we've been gone for a while. Last episode was in July. I had to go to another school. He's been busy. We just can't seem to get our schedules together. It is what it is. Like I told you guys before, we do this for fun, not because we're getting paid. If we're getting paid, we'd probably take it a little more seriously. We're not Anti-Hero or VFT or any of those guys that actually get paid because they have the hundreds of thousands of viewers. I'm happy to get 100. So we appreciate you staying with us. If you're still with us, we appreciate you. If you're new, welcome to the shit show. Start at episode 1. Go from there. They do get better. Don't judge us on episode 1. We were learning. And it was horrible.
Episode
I was eating cereal. You could hear my spoon clanking off the bowl.
There's so much noise,
There's so much noise. We didn't know. But there comes a point, we had talked about doing a podcast forever. You just got to sit down and record. You got to sit down at some point and just start. So we did. And now we're 56 episodes in. I think this is going to be 57, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. It has been fun. We've loved educating everybody, making people laugh. If we could do both at the same time, win-win. If you want to leave us, and I'm going to say this at the beginning, I'm going to say it at the end. If you want to leave us an email, you can email us. My God, it's going to be that kind of day. I can already tell already. At runningcode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE2023@gmail.com. You can also leave us comments on YouTube, on the videos, or the audios if you want to do it that way. Nothing racial, nothing provocative. If you just want to be an asshole, I don't care. You don't say hate us, cool. We'll leave it there. I don't care. But nothing racial or provocative because I'm not dealing with that shit. I'll just erase it because that's not what we're here for. If anybody's paid any attention to us, we don't talk about those subjects because I'm not going to give them any credence. I don't want that to be a thing. So we just don't talk about it. We're going to try to get caught up. We still want to try to start doing lives. The problem is I don't think we have enough viewers to start lives. We could do it, but it'd be kind of a waste of time when you get like 3 viewers. Like, ooh, great.
Yeah.
I would like to do what Anti-Hero does, where they do the lives, and then you can message us live or do a super message and leave us money. Not because we want money. That's what pays the bills so that we can get better equipment and do more things and maybe start getting guests, and who knows, but it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So we're still looking into that. The live, we got to figure out how to set that up. I'm not a computer techie. He's not a computer techie, so we got to kind of figure that out. If anyone wants to email us and tell us how to get it from our camera to a computer to go on YouTube Live, please email us and tell us how to do that. Send me a link for whatever I need to buy on Amazon to make that happen. And if you really love us, send us the money. We'll put it on there. So I would also like to have the ability to have people allowed to call in.
Oh, yeah. Call in, yeah.
Call in. Downside of that is you have nobody to screen it. So you get a guy in there that starts spouting off the N-word or screaming. It's like, well, great. End that call. Yeah. Which could be entertaining. That could be entertaining, though. It could be.
Yeah,
they're all going to make fun of them.
Until they strike the live.
Yeah. Like, oh, my God, we got 20,000 viewers all of a sudden. Hello, Internal Affairs.
They'll strike the live. They'll strike the live, and it's done.
It's done. Yeah, they'll kill
it.
Yeah. So we appreciate you hanging out with us this far. Today, we don't really have any one topic. We're just kind of getting back in the groove. So we're just going to talk about, whatever we feel like talking about. And we will still do our case law. We'll still do our officer down at the end. We appreciate you staying for those. We feel those are important. Case law for the officers, you need no case law. And it's not just the 4 or 5 you heard at the academy. There's several hundred you need to know. And you cannot claim ignorance later and say, well, I didn't know that, because they're going to be like, aren't you a peace officer? Did you not look it up? You have access to the internet. This isn't 1950 where you had to go to a library and find those case laws. You have this. You can find them.
Yeah.
So you can't claim the ignorance that a lot of people claim. I didn't know. It doesn't work for criminals. It doesn't work for us. Mm-hmm. It doubly doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
So once you sign your peace officer license, the ignorance goes away. I didn't know is not going to be an excuse you can use. And I'm tired of hearing it from cops that have been cops for 15 years. I didn't know that. Really? So... everyone's heard Pennsylvania versus Mims, Miranda versus Arizona, Graham versus Connor, Garner versus Tennessee. They've heard those, but then you start talking about the Rodriguez rule, and they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, my God. How do you do traffic stops? I know the Rodriguez rule. So And a lot of case law, some traffic stops, because that's where a lot of our majority of our contacts are, is traffic stops.
Sure is.
So you need to know what your legal limits are and what you can and cannot do. Now, we can do more than we think, but we can't do as much as we think either. So
Yeah.
there are limits because it's going to be that situation. Every situation is unique. You know, what this person says dictates is going to happen. This person didn't say it, so you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. So there's rules to it.
Yeah.
We're not trying to run a police academy here. We're trying to bring awareness, humor. People learn, they laugh, they learn. That's all we want. The most important thing to J-Man and I are these documents you see on the walls. That's what's important to us, because that's what we swore an oath to defend and protect and serve. All of these give us our rights and authority. You know, that people don't understand, like we talked about in the Constitution episode, the Constitution does not give laws to the public. It says what the government is allowed to do and not do. There's only one crime in the Constitution, that's treason. That's it. That's a federal crime. Unless you're in Texas, which there is a state crime of treason in Texas. I don't know how that works, but I don't think it's ever been enforced, at least in the modern era. Maybe in the Alamo. You know, somebody rat snitches out the Alamo and runs off to the general and says, they're in there and they only got one cannon or whatever, you know. But we missed everybody. We enjoy doing this. We trying to come up with topics to keep everybody riveted and entertained. Because our first responsibility is entertainment. The second one, or education, the second one is entertainment. So it's education and entertainment. But if we can do both, that's a win all day long in both of our books. And sometimes the topics we're talking about aren't really funny. They're just more educational, and that is what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that. So there's been so much going on. I think the last time we talked was the flooding in the hill country in Texas.
Yes.
I think that was the last time we talked about that. They still haven't recovered everybody. There's still people missing, and we'll probably always be missing until the next flood comes through and uproots all that silt and rock. I mean, they're probably buried under 30 tons of silt, rock, and dirt and sand. It sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of people are wondering where their family members are at. They have recovered all the children. All the children have been recovered. That's a really sad story for those that did not know or pay attention or live somewhere else. A bunch of camps that were on the river in the hill country, and the floods rose so fast they didn't get warned, and they swept away all those camps. A lot of people died.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the exact count was now, and I feel bad. I should know that, but it was over 100. A lot of them children. So that was a crying shame. But law enforcement stepped up, went up there, continued looking for bodies, found a lot more. I think last I heard, don't hold me to this number, anybody. I don't need no messages. Oh my God, it was 4. Okay, fine. 3 is what I've heard. They're still completely missing. There's 3 people they still not recovered. They've recovered everyone else. Allegedly, that's what I've heard. Now, that could be different. I haven't had a real chance to talk to those guys. I've been in schools. So for those, the last episode, I'd finished Advanced Collision. Now I've finished Reconstruction, which, oh my God, sucks. And then I have one more. I have Motor Vehicle versus Pedestrian. And then I'll finally be done with the crash schools, and I can give my brain a break until the next case comes where I need to use all that math, and then I'll probably be beating my head off a desk again. That is what it is. I'm still an investigator. He's still in law enforcement. We don't really say, for those that are just joining us, we don't really say who we work for because we're both still active law enforcement. So we still got to be careful because apparently somewhere along the way, law enforcement lost the right to free speech. Yeah. So we got to be very careful what we say, because then someone gets a torn pussy, runs off, finds out who you work for, files a complaint that they don't like what you said, and all of a sudden you're getting suspended or fired. And it's like, really? Yeah, or you're getting unpaid time off. And you're like, so I guess free speech doesn't apply to me. So that's why we don't say who we work for. We don't wear uniforms. We're not specific because of that. So if that's why people wonder why we don't say who we work for, that's why.
Yeah.
Now, once I retire, I'm going to let it fly with boat barrels. But I'll do that on days that J-Man's not here. I'll say, don't show up today because you're still active. And I'll say what I want.
Let it fly with both barrels.
Yep, with both barrels at the same time. I'm going to let it rip. But then I've earned the right. I'm retired. I've now earned the right to say whatever I want because I'm a private citizen again. I've earned the right.
Yep.
I'll even make sure my Texas Peace Officer license is completely shut off. Like, nope, I am a civilian. I have regained my First Amendment right. So, yeah, allegedly cops have the same rights as everyone else, but don't be fooled. You don't have the right to free speech as a cop. Don't think you do, because you'll find out the hard way you don't. When you get fired, have to spend a year trying to get your job back.
Yep.
You will get it back eventually because the judge will agree that you have those rights when you get your job back, you're going to be treated like shit for the next several years. So bear that in mind, people. The rules do change. You become a cop.
Sure do.
In fact, let's talk about free speech.
Yeah,
Let's talk about what that entails. I just thought of a great topic for today because it's important. But free speech does not mean you can say whatever you want. That's not what free speech means.
Yep.
It means you can say whatever you want, but you'll be held accountable for what you say. So you can't holler fire in a movie theater. There's a reason for that because it's unsafe. You cannot incite a riot. Okay. But you can say, I hate this demographic. I hate this gun. I hate whatever. I hate this country. You can say that.
Yeah.
You're welcome to say that. But you are responsible for what you say and the results of what you say. You can be held accountable. Inciting a riot, fire in a movie theater. I'm going to kill you, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, that's a threat.
Yeah.
Now, there's a difference between some guy calling you from England saying, oh, I'm going to kill you, you cunt, and a guy standing in front of you going, I'm about to kill you, bitch. There's a difference between the two.
Now, the English government,
Oh, yeah.
they may get you in trouble because you said that threat over the telly, and it made it across the pond.
You hurt someone's feelings. Yeah, you
Yeah.
hurt someone's feelings on social media over there. They come and arrest you. I don't know
You're
what the
getting
hell happened.
arrested.
I don't know what the hell happened in Britain.
Getting arrested.
That just, holy shit, are you serious? Like, I used to have the greatest respect for Great Britain, and now I'm kind of like, holy shit, really? That sounds like some communist bullshit right there. We don't like what you said. Okay, we'll live with it. America truly is the greatest country. You can walk up to a police officer, you're a piece of shit and I hate you. Okay, have a nice day.
Pretty much.
Try that in another country and see how if you have all your teeth at the end of that. Us, we're going to be like, okay, it doesn't faze us. So free speech, while it's important, which also is freedom of religion, freedom of the press, you have all that, and we're glad you have all that because a free media is vital to a free society.
Yeah.
They have to be able to report on what's going on, no hiding it. They figure it out. They're free to say it. Do I think the media has lost its objectivity? Yes, I do. They don't just report the news like Walter Cronkite did. This is what happened. That's it. And if Walter Cronkite was wrong, he'd come out later and say, I was wrong. I got bad information. I was wrong. You will never see a media outlet anymore say they were wrong.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of retractions.
You're not going to.
But you'll see like just updates to the story, and the narrative is spun as just like new information.
Yeah.
It's not that no, we just reported it wrong in the beginning because we didn't have all the facts.
Well, because it's easier for them to just, here's another story, to get you to forget that last story.
Yeah.
Because what they're worried about, and I guess no one's told them this, is if they come out and say we were wrong, people are going to stop watching us. They probably won't, actually. They're going to trust you more
Yeah.
to give them the right information. If you got it wrong, come back and fix that. That would make people trust you more.
Yeah.
But even people are stupid knowing they're being lied to. No one is bullshit.
Yeah.
Except for a certain party affiliation seems to never know when they're being lied to. But other than that, they swallow everything you stick down their throat like a porn star. I don't know. I don't get it, but
I don't know.
whatever. In this show, we're bipartisan. In real life, we're not bipartisan by any fucking stretch because we have a brain in our head. So I call it using your fucking melon. One party uses their melon, the other one uses their emotions. You know what? I don't know what to tell you. But to be fair, we got weirdos on both sides at either end. We got some fucking weirdos. And I can't say we don't have some weirdos. We got some weirdos. And that's fine. Again, free speech.
Yeah.
You have the right to say and think and do whatever you want to make this country great, but you also will stand accountable for what you do or say.
Yeah. It just it's true. It's you're not free from consequences. That's why some people they espouse certain beliefs and then they get on social media, like people on social media will like rip them a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Or they start getting doxxed and things like that for what they do in public. It's like you're not free from consequences. So
do I agree with doxing? No, I do not.
No, I don't agree with doxing either. But unfortunately, it's just a consequence of doing things and saying things on social media. It sucks.
Nobody's ever going to be happy with what you've said 100% of the time. There's always somebody's going to have a problem with what you said. It could be the nicest thing in the world. I want to give $1 million to every person tax-free. Every single person, tax-free. There's going to be somebody who has a problem with that somewhere. They're going to be pissed off about it.
The first thing I can think of is that a group of people are going to call you somewhat like capitalist, and that since you have the capital to do that, you should pay more taxes and yada, 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 yada. Not because you just decide to give some people some money. It's like, oh, you only do that for the tax break.
Well,
you dirty capitalist.
Yeah, well, yeah, you donated. But you know what? It's kind of like, in this country, you get actually penalized for making more money. You actually pay a stiffer penalty for actually being successful. I'm like, really? I'm not saying that they shouldn't pay taxes. That's what I'm saying, but you get penalized for making more. So as a cop, some agencies, you make pretty decent money. Some agencies make more than others. Some pay really, really well. Some pay not so well, like $16 an hour still. Like, how the fuck can you pay $16 an hour in 2025? Others pay, shit, 100 a year, 110 a year, 120 a year.
Yeah.
But that's good money, but you're not rich by any stretch. But you're going to pay serious taxes on that shit.
That is true.
And then overtime is going to be taxed now. Hopefully that's ending. Hopefully that actually does end. I'm not saying we should be a tax-free society. The government has to get their funding from somewhere. Government for the people, by the people. That's great, but they got to get their funding from the people. There's no other way to get their funding. Now, this whole tariff thing, they can, and that would help. But we still got to do our part, too. Like, we're citizens here. If I can't bitch about the road if I don't give you any money to fix the damn road. I can't bitch about who's in the White House if I didn't vote and do my part.
Yeah.
So if you didn't vote and you're complaining about who's in the White House, you didn't vote. You didn't make your voice heard, so why are you bitching now? It's too late. Again, free speech, but you can't complain about something you didn't do any part of to fix or change. Now, all these people complaining about these counties and states where the crime rate is astronomical, you got what you voted for. That's what you wanted. Now you got it. Now you're stuck with it, bitching and pissing and moaning. How can you bitch and piss and moan about it when that's what you voted for? You wanted relaxed, crime policies. You wanted nice mayors and nice governors that would let you do whatever the fuck you wanted. Now your state has turned into a shithole, California, and now you're bitching. Now you want Gavin Newsom to run the country? Look at California and decide if you want that for your whole country. I don't. Pass. If a man can't even run a state, how the fuck's he going to run a country? So that should be a good barometer of someone's fitness for the ultimate office, is how well do you run your state? If your state is in the red and your homeless problem is through the roof and your crime rate is through the roof and you've handcuffed all your cops and district attorneys, now you want to do that to the whole country and turn us into a third world shithole that Haiti would laugh at? You might want to rethink your voting policies.
That's the beauty of everywhere is different. You can literally go to an area where it just suits you.
Mm-hmm. So that's the thing.
Perfect.
Stay there then. Don't take your bullshit, move to Texas and go, oh, we're getting rid of California. It's so horrible. Hey, let's turn Texas into California. You fled Texas or you fled California to get away from that. Stop trying to turn Texas into California. Stop trying to California my fucking Texas. I don't know how many times as a patrolman that I would get these fucking calls from people who just moved here from California and they saw somebody open carrying a handgun. He's carrying a gun down the street. Yeah, it's Texas. Welcome to Texas. That's not legal in California. Well, then go the fuck back. There's the I-10 and head west till you see welcome to fucking Barstow. Welcome to California. Stay there. Or Blythe. It's one of the two. Blythe or Barstow. They're right there on the fucking border. I don't remember which one, but keep going. When you see gas prices all of a sudden $7 a gallon, you're in California again. Have a nice life. Don't come here and then bitch because you want to change it to California. You left California for a fucking reason. And if you keep trying to do that here, you're going to turn it into California. They're going to move like locusts. They're like fucking locusts. They fuck a whole area up and then move on to another one. And they keep moving and they keep moving. And they just keep fucking it up the further they go east.
Oh, man, that's funny.
California is like a yeast infection. It just spreads. It went north and now it's coming east. Mother of God, please stop at the New Mexico border.
It's the great state of California.
I'm just saying, stop. I grew up in California. I grew up in California in the 80s when the state was strong financially, when the cops could do their job back then. And they did their job, believe me. You didn't fuck with LAPD, Sacramento PD, San Francisco PD. You didn't fuck with them. Them boys hurt you. Okay? They didn't tolerate shit. And then I watched it change in the 90s, start slowly changing in the 90s. Now, I left in the late 90s and didn't go back except for the occasional visit with family, and I would get in California and just start doing this. Like, oh, my God, I need to leave. I leave Texas, it's $1.50 a gallon. Get to California, it's $5 a gallon. Like, what the fuck? Are you using, like, some age like a fine wine gas? Like, what the fuck? So I learned quickly I didn't want to bring my car. Nope, I'll fly and use my parents' car. I'm not paying for that gas, especially when I had a Charger. I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not driving in California. It cost me $100 to fill my tank every damn time. That's how insane it's gotten. Yeah. And it would cost you $100. It's a 20-gallon tank, $5 a gallon. You do the math. You need a calculator. I'll let you know. You want a calculator? $100. Where here in Texas, it only costs me about $40 to $50, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
I started driving, gas was still under $1 a gallon. In California, it was under $1 a gallon in California. It was like 87 cents a gallon, and a pack of cigarettes is 95 cents. Now a pack of cigarettes is $12 a pack, and a gallon of gas in California is like $6 a pack or $6 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Texas is about 3 something.
Yeah.
270 to about 3 is the average. Still better in California.
I saw gas price $2.44 yesterday.
Yeah, I heard they were gonna do that. I was like, oh, I didn't need gas. Damn it. But I'm kind of curious. What is the current? You know what? I'm gonna Google that. Current gas prices in California. I am really kind of curious. If you want to judge a state, judge it by its gas prices. Well, now it's saying the current average price for a gallon of regular unleaded gas in California is approximately $4.61.
Not bad.
So it's coming down a little bit. Premium is $5.
That's actually really good. In comparison to like previous, like recently years, as far as.
But there's a gas station in Mendocino charging $10 a gallon. Most expensive gas in the U.S. Interesting. Menlo Park in Southern California is $7.29 a gallon. So, but the California, yeah. What state currently has the highest gas prices? California. And a lot of that is because of the state taxes they put on that too. If you look at the breakdown, a good portion of that goes to state taxes, which is still in the fucking red. How is that state broke? You had oil. You had Hollywood. You had industries. You had factories. California was strong, independent, financially dependent, independent. It was great. With all the shit they have there, they're still broke now. And it's like, and people are flooding out. They're leaving, but they're bringing their bullshit with them. Like, if you're not paying attention to how that state turned that way, pay attention to how before you try to bring it to another state and go, well, we want this state now to be like that. Well, you can't say, well, we want to give none of the bad. All that shit made it bad.
Yeah.
All the ways you voted made it bad. All the crap you tolerated made it bad. And you want to come here to Texas and make it California.
The sad part is like people get penalized for leaving California because they still got to pay state taxes. I don't know if that law passed or not. Apparently, there was a proposition that if a California resident left California after, I guess, this bill, if it passes their congressional board over there, you still pay taxes, even though you live in another state, and you pay taxes for a specified amount of years. I gotta see if that passed.
That's because California, it knows, is losing tax revenue with people leaving, so they're trying to find a way to hold on to your money, even though they can't spend it wisely. Because my grandfather, who moved to California in the 60s and then passed away in 2020, said California is a great state to live in. It was financially strong. It was a pretty state. You didn't see homeless. It was economically strong, morally strong, ethically strong. You had your little areas like San Francisco had the hippies or whatever. You're like, okay, whatever. LA had a high crime rate because that's just LA. And you put that many people together, you're going to have a high crime rate because that is what it is. LA, Houston, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, those are going to have high crime rates because you have that many people in one small space.
Right.
That's just wherever you have that around people, you're going to have people who are predators. That's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
But free speech, to get back on topic, because we keep tangenting, which I do, a squirrel. I think free speech is one of the most vital and most precious things we have. We have the ability to say what we want, share our feelings on a subject. I don't agree with you, big government, and here's why I don't agree. Great. But people have gone too far with it. Now you hurt my feelings. And now I'm going to ruin your life because you hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree. Let's look at the two parties. The big difference between liberals and conservatives. Conservatives don't like something, they just don't buy it. It's like, okay, well, I just don't want it. Liberals don't like something, we're going to take it away from everybody. That's a big difference. Conservatives, I don't like what you're saying, so whatever. I'll just walk away. Liberals, no, I'm going to scream in your ear even though you're walking away from me because you're going to hear me. Dude, and then they're surprised and they get punched in the mouth. And they're shocked and they get socked in the jaw. It's like, okay, well, you shouldn't be shocked because he was tired of hearing you yap in his fucking ear. You know, it's kind of like the modern version of solicitors. They knock on your door. Do you want to buy a vacuum cleaner? Do you want a new roof? Do you want to get the fuck off my property and slam the door in their face? I'm out in public and you run up and start, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Not interested. Oh my God, you hurt my feelings. I'm calling the police. Oh my God. How many times have we had those calls? Just drive me nuts. But as cops, we're in uniform. You come up and start, we're kind of hamstrung because we're not civilians.
Yeah, well, I rolled the window up where I was like, hey,
I've done that.
let's choose not to engage.
And then I just shut my CAD screen off so that they can't see my CAD, and I just sit there.
Yeah, because, I mean, think about it. It's part of the First Amendment, redressing grievances to your government.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean I have to listen to the grievance. But I'm not infringing on their right to redress your government, and you're choosing me
You
to
can
be.
say whatever you want.
You're choosing me to be the
But
recipient.
nothing says I have to listen.
says I have to listen
So
to
I
it.
just,
If you really want to like give your grievance to someone who's willing to receive it, just call that law enforcement agencies and speak to their IA or whatever they have to receive the grievance. I don't have to receive the grievance.
yeah, and there's nothing I can do about it anyway. I'd be like, I can't change that. I don't write policy. What did it? I don't write policy. Have a nice night. And I roll the window, and then they get mad, and they'll sit there with their phone up against your window. I want this officer's badge number and name. It's X, Y, and Z. There, I've now answered your question. I have fulfilled my policy.
It's not an infringement on your redress.
Yeah,
I just don't have to listen to it.
I don't have to listen to it. And the smart officers just drive away or don't even react to him. There's a great video of that officer. He was doing a drone. They were doing a drone operation, and he's sitting there. He's got the remote, and this guy's like, "You look stupid. You look dumb. Your haircut's trash. You're a piece of shit." And the officer just completely ignores him. He's just like, "Whatever." He's just doing his thing. He's zoning in on the drone operation, but then he starts interfering. Now he's interfering with a law enforcement operation. Now you are breaking law. So he starts getting closer. That's another cop said, "Nope, I don't think so," and snatched him up. And the guy's like, "Oh, I have the right." You did when you were standing 25 feet away. But now he is trying to concentrate on a drone operation. He's trying to watch his screen because whatever he's got going on is law enforcement matter. Could be a missing person, could be a child loss, could be a hostage situation. And you're now interfering with his ability to watch the screen do his job. Now he's got to watch you. You're now interfering. And then he got hooked. And he just flipped his shit. I'm like, you brought that one on yourself.
It's kind of funny, like how some people really think that it's like focus, right? Like we're somehow like immune to not, like we're immune to like being unfocused or being distracted. It's strange. You're not going to go distract the pilot while he's flying a plane or what have you. Even if it's on autopilot, if he's like actually in full control of the plane trying to do something, you're not going to run in there and distract him from doing his job.
You're a piece of shit. Why are you flying this plane? Blah, 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 blah. You're not going to do that because
law enforcement is one of the few jobs where
we have to pretty much sit there and take it unless you start interfering with what we're doing.
While being focused, trying to do something.
Yeah. So I have no problem with First Amendment auditors. J-Man's got no problem with First Amendment
really
auditors.
Don't. I see the purpose, but some of y'all are idiots.
Well, there's a good purpose to it, and there's just, I want to be an asshole.
And I just want to get a check from a government.
Yeah.
Like that's
so they're hoping you lose your temper.
To get sued.
Smack them, knock them down, take their phone and wing it across the street. I'm not saying I ever did that. I'm just saying some phones have learned to fly in my presence.
Learn to fly. Yeah.
That's me. It's the new iFly. It just whizzes across the street into the field. It's the weirdest thing. But I did that because you're interfering with me. So I can either arrest you for interfering when I got 20 other things going on, or take your phone and wing it and you get the fuck away from me. Like I am in the middle of an operation here and you are now splitting my attention, which is fucking dangerous because I'm trying to concentrate on this and I don't know what threat you represent to me. Mm-hmm. And I need to concentrate on this. So yeah, if you come up interfering with me while I'm in the middle of a law enforcement operation, I'm going to take your phone. It's going to become the iFly and away it's going to go. Okay. Now you can run across the street and get it. You can stay the hell over there now. I've had people on traffic stops approach the other side of the car. Stay over there. I'll finish this and I'll talk to you. And they want to get close to this officer. It's blah, 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 blah. Stay over there. I had one guy come all around the car, like right to here. I was like, if you don't step back on the sidewalk, I'm going to cuff you, throw you in there and finish this traffic stop. But then you're going to jail for interfering. He's like, you can't do that. Hooked him, threw him in the Tahoe. I left his phone recording on the hood of my Tahoe. I just left it there. Recording. It was on. I didn't turn it off. I just left it on the top of the hood, faced up like this. I'm like, whatever. I finished this, came back. You're under arrest for interference. And you can't do that. I said, by the way, your phone's running the whole time, but now I'm going to stop it now just so you don't kill your battery and turn it off. I'm recording. Got our camera here, one in the back seat and one in the dash. But you're now under arrest for interfering because I'm trying to deal with this guy in the traffic stop and you're walking up right here. Like, you're an idiot. You're doing nothing but be inflammatory just for fucking fun. You can stand on the sidewalk and just film me all day long, and then it's done. I will talk to you if you can be a reasonable person. Or if you're not, I'll just walk away and get my Tahoe and drive the fuck off. Mm-hmm. You want my name and badge? Here it is. I'll even write it down for you. If you can't read, I'll write it down for you. I'll say it out loud so you can, I don't care, but don't interfere with me. That's not free speech. That's interference with an law enforcement operation, interference with my job. I'm working and you're getting in my way. You want to stand over there 50 feet away and film me? Have a great time.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's only when it's going to jeopardize my safety or safety of another officer or the safety of the public. If I'm transporting a juvenile who's a victim of a crime and you're trying to get in the windows, you're going to get a pretty negative response real goddamn quick. Because if that was your daughter or your son who was the victim of a crime, you probably wouldn't want them on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's times we're going to get a little short with you. And if you don't like it and it tore your pussy, sorry. That just happens. Put a tampon in to staunch the flow of blood and move on with your fucking life. But this whole my feelings matter more than anything else in the world bullshit needs to stop. Because it's making this world circle, it's making the Western world circle the fucking drain. Other countries don't give a fuck if it hurts your feelings or not. They're going to tell you what you don't want to hear. Sorry. That's why I love Sheriff Grady Judd in Florida. He tells you the truth. He doesn't tell you what you want to hear. He tells you the truth. And if you don't like it, well, go move to another state. Head north, head west. Go somewhere else. You're not going to get real receptive response in Louisiana, Mississippi. You're not going to get real receptive responses there, too, because down in the South, cops still kind of do their job. Except in, like, Atlanta, they just kind of lost control of that city. It's get overrun. It is what it is. But get away from Atlanta. The cops don't play. Georgia State Police, Florida State Police, them boys don't play. Them boys will ruin your day real fast. They'll ruin your car and your day real quick, as they should. So while yes, it is important that you have the right to say what you want, have civil redress, right to religion, right to freedom of the press, all that, those are all very important, and we fight to protect those rights. But as a society, don't you think we ought to know when to back the fuck off? Like maybe this is just because you can say a thing doesn't mean you should say a thing.
Yeah.
Because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do a thing.
Yeah, no, you're
It's
right.
kind of like the arguments of pedophiles. Yeah, she's sexually capable, not sexually legal, dickhead. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Again, just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you automatically should do a thing. So if you're dumb enough to come up and interfere with what I'm doing and you think I'm a First Amendment auditor and I can do what I want, you're going to find out real quick you cannot. There are limits. And then we're going to take your phone as evidence, and that's a nice video that we're going to play for a jury that showed you interfering with what I'm trying to do. But if you haven't seen that video, it's hysterical. That officer is just sitting there. He's completely ignoring him.
I've seen it. It's
hysterical, but he is. Your hair is stupid. What does that have to do with being a cop? What does that have to do with law enforcement? Nothing. He's trying to get a rise out of him. He's trying to get him to go, man, fuck you, or get the fuck away from him and put his hands on him. That's what he's hoping for.
Yeah.
Officer is smart. He didn't fall for it. He just sat there doing his job, flying his drone. This guy's like, oh my God, you can't even fly a drone right. What?
You can't even see the drone.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I was watching that video, and basically, he is just trying to get a check. He either wants to get his 50 minutes of fame on TikTok, or he's hoping that this officer put his hands on him and he can sue him. That's what they're hoping for. If you take away their power by being calm, it's like, my name is this, my badge number is this. I need to get back to work now. You look reasonable, and he looks like a dick. So don't respond to him, because then you look like the dick, and then he plays the professional victim card.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Now, again, the one whose phone I threw and made turn into the iFly, he was interfering. He was right there in my shit, and I got to deal with this asshole, and I'm now dealing with this asshole. This is the one that's more dangerous, but I don't know how dangerous this guy is, and I assume he's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So I yanked his phone and winged at some bitch, and it went away it went. And he ran across like his asshole was on fire to get his phone, but he stayed back after that. He stayed way out of reach. I was like, give him a thumbs up. You figured it out. You're now 70 feet away from me. Perfect. Stay over there. When it was over, he come up, I want your name and badge. And I told him. I said, yeah. I said, so you can go to jail for interference because you were interfering with me, or you can call this one a day. Chalk this up as a loss. Just call it a day. Drove off, and I never heard a word about it. I think he probably reviewed the video and was like, yeah, I ain't gonna get far with this one. But yeah, so I wanted to call what's his name at Apple and be like, hey man, I got a great idea for a phone called the iFly. So now these agencies, there are some states that now come out, if you're closer than 20 feet or something, automatically they can arrest you.
I want to say Arizona's one of them. I think Arizona's
it's situation dependent.
Yeah, situation dependent.
Now, if they're all sitting at a table in a public restaurant and they're at the next table filming you,
whatever.
Be careful what you say in public, guys. This is for the officers. Be careful what you fucking say in public on lunch. People are listening to
That will
you.
get you suspended.
That will get you in deep shit.
If you work for an agency that cares about that thing.
And most of them do.
And most of them do. You'll
So
get
if you're
suspended.
sitting there at the table, crack that dude in his fucking mouth. He was a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And the guy at the table next to you is filming that. You're in the public.
Or you're talking about your latest sexcapade.
Or you're talking about your admin. My sheriff, my chief, my director is blah, 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 blah. My sergeant is blah, my captain is blah, 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 blah. And this person puts it on YouTube. You were in public. You had no expectation of privacy at all. And if you think for a minute that people aren't listening to you with one ear because you're in uniform, they are absolutely listening to you with one ear because you are in uniform. They're hoping to hear something juicy like, oh, I didn't know about that. But at the same time, you start talking about shit you shouldn't and you're in uniform. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
And now that guy's filming you and he's closer than 21 feet because he's at the table next to you. I don't think those laws apply to that situation because you're not in a situation. You're at the taco hut talking about, I banged this chick and blah, blah, blah. And I punched this dude in his face and then told him, get the fuck out of here. And there's the guy next to you.
Yep.
He ain't saying a word. He doesn't have to. That video will speak for itself. And all the other officers who sat there and didn't stop him,
oh yeah,
they're going to get caught in that backlash too. And if there was a supervisor at that table, it's going to be his ass because he didn't say a word to go, hey man, shut the fuck up. We're in public. He let you talk. Like, dude, STFU, dude, shut the fuck up. You know, I'm guilty of it. My voice carries. I don't have a whisper. I've never had a whisper mode. My voice carries. I've forgotten that shit, and I've been in restaurants, and then you realize people are listening, and you're like, shit. And you start, you know what, I'm going to change the subject. You know, or you get the other officer going, hey, dude, hey, man, shut the fuck up. You know, oh, yeah, my bad. Shouldn't be talking about that. Because to us, what's normal conversation for cops is not normal conversation for the public around you who's not used to dealing with the shit you deal with.
Yeah.
So while the other cops can understand your conversation, agree to it, or agree to what you're saying, public's like, oh my God, they're horrified. They're all that way. No, we just have a strong stomach or a dark sense of humor because that's our defense against the shit we see.
Mm-hmm.
But the public doesn't need to hear it because then they're just like,
well, yeah. I mean, for the public, they should have a right to not. Okay, let's just put some things in perspective. The world is a terrible place, but the general public, I guess you can say, they have a right to not know it's really terrible. Like, I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to like phrase it in a way. It's just where like, oh, you're okay. It's okay to be naive, but just don't know
naivety.
That you shouldn't be offended by someone's like realist perspective on the world. Just because you think crime can't happen here doesn't mean I can't talk about like, hey, this crime happened there on this day, and this is what the gist of it was. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like.
But we should not be in public, though, talking about active cases.
Well, obviously that.
Because they're, again, filming that.
Yeah.
And you're releasing information you shouldn't be. Or you didn't put that in your report.
Oh, yeah.
And the defense attorney finds that video, and you completely left that part out of your entire report, and you're talking about how you socked him in the mouth after he was in handcuffs. And that's not in your report, and that video gets on YouTube, that whole case is trashed, and you may end up in front of a federal grand jury on civil rights violations. So, now, obviously, I do not condone that. I don't condone striking restrained prisoners at all. We're human. We do dumb shit. But, like I tell civilians, if you do dumb shit, shut the fuck up when you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Most criminals put themselves in jail with this. As a detective, I can tell you how many people I've put in jail and prison because of this. Because they run their mouth. And I will give them their Miranda, and I'll make them sign their Miranda warning that they understood they had the right to remain silent, but again, not the ability. And they will tuck themselves right into a jail cell. And I'm just staring at them like, well, then what happened? And, oh, yeah, then what happened? And then it's too late when they realize it. All of a sudden, that candle starts flickering above their head when they realized, whoops, it's way too late. Way too late. So your mouth can be used for good. It can be used for bad. The hardest lesson for me growing up was shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Me, I'm more of a shit talker. Oh, you want to talk shit? Let's talk some shit, motherfucker. This job, though, can you talk shit? You can. Can it cost you? Absolutely, it can cost you.
Yeah.
You want to be right so bad as a cop that you lose your temper and say the right thing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because there's 20 different ways to phrase fuck you. We just go with fuck you because it's just the quickest and easiest. And that was the wrong way to phrase that. You can say, hey, man, like I've already explained, you need to stop. Or you can go, man, I told you to knock that fucking shit off, you idiot. That's two separate ways to phrase the same fucking thing. One of them looks reasonable, and the other one looks like you're a dick to a jury. And you're like, whoops. So when they play that for the jury, you lose that sympathy, and now they start swaying towards the defendant with sympathy, and you're like, well, shit. I should have phrased that better. So we have free speech too, but there are limits, and any law enforcement agency uses it as a policy while you're on duty, or while you're representing this agency, or while you're wearing the uniform. You may not talk about X, Y, and Z, and usually it's race, religion, creed, the protected things for good reason.
Yeah.
Because when you're in uniform, you can't discuss politics. You have no politics in your uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You're on duty. That's it. You enforce the law. The laws of your state, the Constitution, and your policy. That's it. That's all that matters. And I loved it when I'd be like during voting time, especially every 4 years when we were in uniform. Who are you voting for? I'm on duty. Can I help you with something? Well, I don't know who you're voting for. I'm on duty. Can I help you with something? Because that's not the time to express my personal opinion. And you never know who you're talking to.
Some people ask you that?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Here's what I've also gotten.
That's crazy.
Here's what I've also gotten before. Hey, what do you think about your boss? From random strangers.
I've heard that too.
Man, I don't know who the fuck you are. And I'm not falling for that trap. My mama didn't raise a fool.
I've heard that too.
So I'll be like, if he signs my check, and give 2 thumbs up and walk away. My personal feelings are irrelevant, and my thoughts are irrelevant. Mm-hmm. He's my boss. He signed my check. That's it. Read between the lines. If all they say is he signs my check and gives you 2 thumbs up, you don't like him. Okay?
That's freaking funny. That's
but
funny.
People will actually come up and do that, and you better assume that their phone in their pocket right here is recording you, because you don't know who this is. Mm-hmm. So he could very well be friends with your boss, and he wants to start some shit with you. So he walks up, hey, oh man, I love what y'all do. I support y'all's agency. What do y'all think of your boss? And they're hoping you'll go, he's a this and that. And and then he calls the sheriff or the chief or the director or your captain or your sergeant or whoever the fuck it is. He goes, man, I got video of him in public in uniform saying, fuck the chief, fuck the sheriff, fuck the director, da 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 da. And they're like, oh, really? Can you send me that video? And there you are in a public place where you have no expectation of privacy, in uniform representing your agency, running your boss's name into the dirt.
Yeah.
Yes, you can legally say that, but it's probably going to cost you a vacation at a minimum. Mm-hmm. Could cost you your job, depending on what you said. So free speech is important. But the whole point of this entire episode is when to talk and when to shut the fuck up.
In general.
In general.
Life.
For everybody. That's for civilians and cops. Now, when I was in the military, there were certain things I could not say. I'm in the United States military. Even off duty, I don't have the right to say whatever I want because I am owned by the United States government, and they can say what I can and cannot say. So I cannot talk shit about my commanding officer. He's an officer. I can actually be court-martialed for doing that because I opened my mouth and said, the colonel's a piece of shit. He's a cocksucker. He's a blah, 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 blah. And then you turn around, there's the commander, there's the colonel standing there. Sir?
Did you catch all that?
Yeah, did you hear,
were you here for any of this?
Did you hear like everything? All of a sudden, you're facing court-martial charges for disrespect to insubordination to a superior officer or disrespect by apportment, which basically means he can say, I don't like the way he looked at me. It was disrespectful. And that's the UCMJ article. It's called disrespect by apportment. You glare at an officer and you're enlisted. That's disrespect by apportment. You glared at him. He's an officer and you're not. So, yeah, you have even more restrictions in the United States military because you are a military member. Now, the day you retire or separate, then you can say whatever the fuck you want. You're now a private citizen and you can say whatever the fuck you feel like saying because you earned it. But while you still any component of the U.S. military, active guard or reserve, any of the 6 branches, you don't have the right to say whatever you want. And you better be really careful. And I'll tell you what's getting a lot of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines in trouble is this. TikTok is getting a lot of military members in trouble. Because I'm off duty. Oh, my commander's a piece of shit. The president's a piece of crap. You're in the United States military 24/7, 365. You can't say whatever you fucking want. The Army's getting tired of it. The Air Force getting tired of it. The Navy and the Marines are getting tired of it. And they're cracking down on that shit. And you can be court-martialed for the shit you say on TikTok, even though you're out of uniform. You can still be in deep shit. So the Army's starting to crack down and say, no, We're not allowing that. Nope. You may not have any access to, you may not be on social media while you are still a member of the United States military. They can do that
Yeah.
because you're in the military. And people are like, oh my God, they're violating my rights. No, they're not. When you sign it as a member of the military, you give up certain things.
Yeah, that's true.
You give up this freedom of speech because you're protected for other people. Doesn't mean you get it. That's unreasonable search and seizure. You gave that up when you joined the United States military. You can be ordered out of your car and have it searched on base. They can come into your base housing and search it without a warrant. You're on base. It says right at the gates, deadly force authorized. We can search you. The minute you cross base, you can get pulled over by security forces for nothing. You're on base. So your right to privacy went.
Mm-hmm.
And these idiots that try to do that First Amendment auditing shit with the military police crack me the fuck up. Military installation trying to film the front. What are you, fucking stupid? Not a single one of those assholes has won that fight. And they've gotten boxed up by military police. I mean, grounded and pounded because they try to put their hands on a soldier and shove him. I'm like, good luck with that. You know, it says it right there. Filming prohibited. U.S. military installation. Filming prohibited. Especially if a base has Class A assets like nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you fucking stupid? And then you want to argue. I want your name and badge number. Hey, motherfucker, Sergeant so-and-so, get the fuck away from me. You know, no, fuck you. And then they come real close in their face. All of a sudden, you're grounded and pounded like this. And that soldier's on top of you with their phone going, we'll take that. You know, you're under arrest. Now it's federal. And you're, oh, I have the right. No, there's a limit. Certain things have a limit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can go to an empty field and scream fire all day long. I cannot go to a crowded theater and start a panic by screaming fire where people will get hurt trying to get out of the theater.
Yep, absolutely.
So I can say whatever I want. It's where can I say it? Off duty in my own home, I can say whatever I want about the sheriff, the chief, the director of state police. I can say whatever the fuck I want. There's no one around to hear it. But the minute I walk outside in uniform representing my agency,
Yeah.
So yeah, I can say whatever I want, but I'm going to pay the consequences. And that's been the whole point of this whole episode. You can say whatever you want, but you're also free to face the consequences of saying whatever you fucking want. I would like the public to understand that. Yeah, you can hate, I hate Jews, I hate this, I hate that, you're this, you're that. You can say whatever you want, but you're free to face consequences when that big dude comes up and socks you in the mouth. Now, is he going to jail for assault? Yeah, because you had the right to say it. Doesn't make him right to hit you, but we can all sympathize with that dude for decking you. So he had a right to feel a certain way about what you did too. Now, he should have got out his phone and said, this guy is a fucking idiot. That's what he should have done.
Yeah, just
Instead,
both argue and yell at each other.
Instead, he socked you in the jaw, which, again, we can all appreciate. But we're not condoning that, but you had it coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to find some case law.
Yeah, I had
Did you have one?
I just seen like a little blurb about Minnesota versus Dickerson, which is, you know, it's good case law, plain field.
Well, do you have one?
I mean, you want to just do that one? Plain field.
We can do a couple.
Oh.
How about you do one and I'll do one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know I had one that I'm trying to find without my volume going on. So you do a case law, and then I'll do a case law, and oh, here we go.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, any minute now. Any minute now.
Yeah, the internet's been sucking here lately, guys. We're real sorry.
Okay, so this was a court case, 1993. And pretty much in a nutshell, during a lawful pat down, if law enforcement feels an item that we immediately recognize as contraband, we can seize it as an exception to the warrant requirement.
Yep.
So,
but we have to articulate.
Right. So this is scenario, you suspicious person's call, right? You pat the person down and you feel in their pocket what is to be a meth pipe. You feel it, You know what the shape of a meth pipe looks like, what it feels like, because you've held previous ones. You feel in their pocket, go in their pocket and take it during a lawful pat down. Key word is lawful.
Yep.
Because you just cannot pat
You can't
down
just walk up to
anybody
random
you want.
people and start patting them
You
down.
just can't pat down anybody you want. So during a lawful pat down, you feel the meth pipe, you go in their pocket. Hey, look, it's a meth pipe. Or a pipe with meth residue. There we go. Okay. Now you can do a lawful search of their person. That's simple. That's pretty much simple. That's simple. The most simplest way to do it.
It's pretty simple.
And it came across, and it's just always something good to know, because I know, like, early in my career, when I've like felt I've patted down subjects, and I'm like, this is a pipe. It's a
You can
pipe.
feel it's got the bulb on one end, the stick on the other.
it's
Nothing
a
else
pipe.
feels like a pipe. Like,
Hey, you
no,
can't
it's a
do
pipe.
that. And the other officer's like, hey, man, like, are you sure you can do that? I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I can do
'Cause
that.
I can articulate on my experience and training as a police officer what I'm feeling in that pocket and why all the totality of the circumstances says that's a meth pipe.
And another key word in that, immediately. There is no manipulating or like, hey, man, like, what is this? And they say, well, I'm not going to tell you what it is. And then you go in and you take it and say, oh, it's just like I thought. Illegal.
Yeah.
Has to be immediately recognized by plain touch.
Articulable and recognizable.
Yes.
And based on your training experience and the totality of the circumstances. That's the one thing to keep your ass out of trouble as a cop. The totality of the circumstances. Can't just walk up on a random person. What do you got? Oh, meth pipe. Nope. But you already had him detained. You smell something in the car. Yeah, I'm going to pat you down for a weapon. And while you're patting him down for a weapon, that's clearly recognizable as a marijuana pipe or a meth pipe or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. Oh, yeah. Okay, but it makes sense based on the totality of everything you're dealing with.
Yeah, and that just piggybacks off of Terry versus Ohio, which, you know, some people refer to that as an infamous case law because it gives us the ability to recognize patterns of individuals where we reasonably believe you're up to criminal behavior, but you're just scouting it. You're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out what they're trying to do to execute the plan. Well, Terry versus Ohio gives us the ability to step in before it even occurs to prevent it. And if we believe a person is armed and dangerous, we can pat them down for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I think just the reason people have issues with this is because just we as law enforcement, we just misunderstand it lots of the times. We're not perfectly trained up, sufficiently trained up on it, and then we make mistakes with it, and then we get jammed up at the administrative level, at the court level, things like that, at a civil level, stuff like that. So these simple case laws, while like foundational, like to law enforcement, it's still good that we just review it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because can't build a house on a bad foundation.
No, that's absolutely true. And a case is just like that. You either have a concrete foundation or you got sand. And if that sand is shifting, the whole case is going to topple and you fucked it all up.
Yep.
Really sucks to have to let a murder walk because you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't just do it right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The doubt always has to sway towards the accused. Always. This is what protects people from going to prison when they shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So I got a couple. This is United States versus Wade. A suspect that is represented by an attorney can be compelled to participate in a lineup without the attorney present. The suspect can also be asked to recite lines or to identify his voice. So people think that the minute you say, I want a lawyer, that every single thing completely stops. We can't do a damn thing. No. What it says specifically, and I'll read it here specifically. When a defendant makes an unequivocal request for an attorney, all questioning of the defendant must stop. Let's talk about what unequivocal means. I want a lawyer. I'm not speaking to you without a lawyer. That's unequivocal. Period. Oh, man, do you think I should get a lawyer to talk to you? Where has he requested an attorney there? That's not an unequivocal statement. Unequivocal means it cannot be mistaken for anything else. I want a lawyer, and I will not say another word to you without a lawyer. That's unequivocal. Bam. End of story. Like, okay, we got to give him a lawyer. This doesn't mean that we stop everything. This doesn't mean that we don't fingerprint you. It doesn't mean we don't take your picture. It doesn't mean we don't book you in. It doesn't mean you can't be used in a lineup. It doesn't mean any of that. It just says the questioning must stop. All it says. And people get that confused, like traffic stops. I want a lawyer before I do anything. You don't get a right to one right now. I'm not interrogating you. So you're still going to give me your license. Yeah, I've actually heard that shit. I don't have to talk to you without a lawyer.
It's funny.
You're right. You don't. But you also right to face consequences.
There's an app out there where if you're on a traffic stop, you bring up the app, a lawyer pops up right there on the screen for you.
Yeah.
But in those videos, the lawyer still tells them you still have to
You have to give
present
your
your
license.
ID
You have to
and your
give-
insurance.
You have to give me your
but
insurance.
you don't have to answer any of the questions.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't stop our action. It just stops you talking to us if you want to. Great. That's hilarious. Okay, this is a great one. Statement or just eyes, and I'll get to
Oh
that.
yeah, that's a good
But
one.
Edward v. Arizona, an accused having expressed his desire to deal with the police only through counsel, is not subject to further interrogation until counsel has been made available to him, unless the accused has himself initiated further conversations, communications, exchanges with the police.
Yeah,
So, what's the example to that? I've got someone in an interrogation room. Now we call them interview rooms because they're kinder, gentler now. Interview room. I'm going to give him a lollipop and pat him on the back. If he says, I'm on a lawyer and I'm not speaking to you without one, okay. If we're sitting there waiting on a lawyer and he goes, look, man, I didn't mean to kill the bitch. That was on you. I didn't say anything. You made a just I statement. You have now initiated a conversation with me. I can ask you, well, what happened? Well, we got to arguing, and she pissed me off, and so I punched her in the mouth. She fell, and she hit her head on the coffee table, and then she didn't move. Your rights have already been read. You requested a lawyer. I didn't ask you a fucking thing, and you chose to talk. That's on you.
Yep.
That is not on me, and I'm not going to tell you shut the fuck up. I'm going to sit there and let you talk. Now I can ask you all the questions I want to because you started it. I didn't. Now, if you in the middle of that go, I want to talk to you with that lawyer present. Okay. But man, look, I really didn't mean to. Okay, motherfucker, keep talking. And people are watching this probably laughing. It happens.
It happened to me.
It happened to me. But they chose to talk. I did not ask them to talk. I did not ask them a question. All I can ask you is your name, date of birth, social, address, phone number. I can ask you those questions. Those are identifiers. But if you choose to give me further information, even though I've already invoked your right to counsel, that's on you, not on me. And now I can ask you anything I want because you opened that door. Your rights had already been read to you, and I guarantee you in the modern age, it was on camera. It was probably on 2 or 3 cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my agency, what we do is we have you sign that you understand your Miranda warning. I read you all your Miranda warning and go, do you understand your rights? Yeah. Well, go and sign right there that you understand your rights. They'll sign it every time. But even failing to sign it does not change the fact that it was read to you because it's on camera.
Yeah.
So, okay, do you have to sign that? No. You're stating that you understand your rights. Most people will sign it. But even if you don't sign it, it's on that camera, and this one that you were still read it to you and you said you understood it.
Yep. Okay.
And now the courts are recognizing that these days, everyone knows the Miranda warnings from TV. So now they're starting to recognize the fact that you didn't have to necessarily read you your rights. You knew your rights. So there's been a couple cases like that now where they have actually waived that and been like, no, you knew your rights. You've been arrested 25 fucking times. You know what your rights are. Yeah. There's a couple others. Let's see. Yeah. So Minnick versus Mississippi, 1990. Once a custodial suspect requests counsel in response to the Miranda warnings, the officers cannot attempt to reinterrogate the suspect without counsel. In this case, federal officers interrogated the suspect after advising him of his rights. He requested counsel. A couple of days later, a deputy sheriff read the suspect his rights again and questioned him without his attorney. The suspect confessed. The confession was excluded, which means thrown away, because the suspect requested counsel during the first interrogation.
Yep.
It's asinine. That's the law. Sucks, but there it is. But Davis versus the United States, remember that unequivocal part again?
Mm-hmm.
A suspect must make an unequivocal request for a lawyer in order to effectively invoke his right to counsel. You have to demand a lawyer and make it real clear you want one. You can't talk about, should I have one? Do you think it's a great idea if I have a lawyer? You have to unequivocally say, I want a lawyer, and I will not speak to you without one. Mm-hmm. Now you've invoked that right unequivocally. Now, yes, all questioning must cease. The only thing, again, that we're going to be allowed to ask you, name, social, date of birth, phone number, and address. And those are identifiers.
Yeah.
Those you're required to answer, and that information you're required to give me. But I can no longer talk to you about the crime.
Yep.
Fine, wait till your lawyer gets here. But like I said, if I'm sitting there with you waiting on your lawyer, and he's stuck in traffic, and then all of a sudden you get bored and start talking to me, That was your problem, not my problem. And I'm going to let you run your mouth until you run yourself right into a fucking jail cell. Okay. By the time the lawyer gets there, your client's under arrest for XYZ. What the fuck? Yeah, he invoked his right, and then he started talking regesti. Lawyers gonna be like, ah. And lawyers these days, they like TV where they go, "What'd you do? What'd you say?" They know it's being footaged.
So they're just gonna
They're just gonna ask for it and go, "Oh shit." No, my client's a fucking idiot. So
oh man,
those are what we consider to be important. We like case laws. We want you to hear them, find out on your own. There's case laws for cops. There's TikToks. You can go to the Supreme Court website and look at all those case laws. You can read these. You can read the whole dissenting opinions, all that shit.
Yep.
And we encourage you to.
Yeah. It's good. It's good information.
There's been a lot of officers lost since our last podcast on July 20th. The last one was on July 18th, which was Detective Eklund, which we talked about, and Detective Lemus and Detective Osborne from the bomb squad. And they died during that. Since then, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 since then. 13 officers since July 20th. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Well, might as well get on it. So, this is Police Officer Philip Wagner from the Lorain Police Department, Ohio. I'm not going to read all these thoroughly. I'm not going to read the entire ODMP. I'm just going to say their names, who they work for, and their ends of watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, Police Officer Philip Wagner, Lorain Police Department, Ohio, end of watch Thursday, July 24th. There's just so many. Deputy Sheriff Elijah Ming, Wyandotte. I think it's Wyandotte. If it's not, I'm sorry. If anybody from Wyandotte, I'm sorry. Wyandotte or Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office, Kansas. End of watch July 26, 2025. Cause of death, gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
And Philip Wagner was gunfire. Good Lord. Detective Dieterul Islam from the New York NYPD.
That was the mass shooting that they had there recently.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Gunfire, July 28th. Good Lord. Lieutenant Albert Stout, due-related illness on August 6th. So remember, car crashes, health, gunfire.
Yeah.
Police Officer David Rose, DeKalb County Police Department, Georgia, August 8th, 2025, gunfire. Sergeant Kenneth Salas, Spokane County Sheriff's Office, Washington, August 9th, 2025, hit by a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
That one's real common, too, because we're out there on the roads a lot.
Yep.
Sergeant Ryan Hudson, Paducah Police Department, Kentucky, August 12th. Heart attack. The offender was charged with murder?
Unless they're trying to argue he induced the heart attack of the officer. The suspect induced the heart attack.
That's why they did it.
Through their actions or whatever.
Maui Police Department, Maui County Police Department, Hawaii. Police Officer Suzanne O. Gunfire.
Wow.
August 15th. For those that don't know it, Hawaii's got a horrible crime rate. Sergeant Lee Sorensen, Tremonton Garland Police Department, Utah, August 17th. Gunfire. Police Officer Eric Estrada, Tremonton Garland, August 17th. Also gunfire. And Police Officer Hunter Simon Sick, I don't want to mangle it, I'm sorry, but Simon Sick, Kansas City PD, August 26th, struck by a vehicle. Good Lord. Well, the three things that gets us, guys: gunfire, health, heart especially, because we eat like shit. Speaking of which, want to eat McDonald's?
Yeah.
And cars. Either we crashing or we hit by other cars, or we're working a crash on the highway and someone runs us over. It happens, guys. For those that may not realize this, because this applies to all police officers in the United States, if you're working on a public roadway, you are required to have a reflective vest on. It's a requirement for a reason.
Yes.
Now, if the asshole runs you over, he had zero excuses. But if you're standing on the highway at night in dark navy blue with no reflective vest and he runs you over, whose fault was that really? So, guys, we kind of bring a lot of our problems on ourselves. We really kind of do.
And there's a lot of different, illuminating devices.
No, I have
help
that
us at night.
Shoulder, what the hell is it called? The Guardian. I turned that sumbitch on. That fucker's so bright.
Guardian's bright. It's really bright.
And mine's bright as shit, and I have it on the highest one. It's red and blue and white and flashing.
Yep.
Like, you can't say it didn't see me, but I also have my vest on because I'm required to. So I got that nice reflective vest, huge,
Mhm.
bright as shit.
Yep.
But I also have officers shutting down the road for me. But it sucks when an officer screams on the radio, car incoming. He went around me, get off the road, and he turned on his car, pulls over the drunk person. Go, what are y'all doing?
Well, there was, I can't remember how recent it was, but even like roadway noise, and this is where I get, this is where earpiece mics come in really, really good handy, because there was an officer warning another group of officers that, hey, somebody is just driving onto the scene.
And nobody had earpieces in.
I think the officer who was on scene, who was one of the officers that was on scene who got struck and killed, he didn't have it. I don't know if he didn't have an earpiece or not, but he didn't hear it like everybody else did, and he got hit. He or she got hit, and that really sucks. Now, there's a lot of roadway noise on a highway or on just a very busy roadway period.
Mhm.
So even I've had a hard time hearing my radio just because I just have a standard mic without an earpiece, and you just don't hear it because you're trying to focus on the person that you're talking to, vehicular traffic, making sure nobody's getting close, trying to clip you, and then like you get toned out because you're not responding to status checks.
Is he dead? No, I just can't hear you.
Yeah,
because the way it works usually, and most agencies are pretty much the same. 2 minutes after you did the stop, they check on you, or you arrive at the location, they check on you, and then 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and an hour. And that's typically when they check on you.
Yep.
You fail to answer any one of those, they're going to tone it out, and the cavalry's going to come a running, because just because it was a civil matter doesn't mean it stayed that way.
Right.
It turned into something real, because here again, the ex-husband showed up after your last welfare check and shot you.
Mm-hmm.
Or shot the wife, or shot both of you,
Yeah.
and then drove off. And now dispatch calls check on you 20 minutes later and no answer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're lucky, maybe a neighbor heard it, looked out, saw it, called 911.
Right.
So the cavalry's a coming.
Yeah.
So, listeners, thank you again for joining us for another episode of Running Code. We're sorry that it has not been consistent. Life gets in the way, guys. What can I say? We're going to work on the live, and when we do get something firmer on that, we'll actually try to put it out enough time so we can get the numbers out there, people to, hey, come join us. We're trying to figure out what's the best day of the week. I think a Sunday is probably the best day for a live, because that's usually typically a weekend.
Yeah.
Hopefully people will be home on Sunday afternoon or evening, maybe 6 o'clock, or Mountain Time or Central Time, or Central. We're in Central. Central Time. Kind of play with it, see what happens. I'm kind of excited to try it. We'll see what it does and how it works out for us. But yeah, so we appreciate you joining us. Like I said, if you want to email us, it's runnincode. That's RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. That is our email. You're free to email us whatever you want. Please leave comments on our videos. Like I said, if it's really inappropriate and you know what I mean, inappropriate people, we're going to delete it. If it's just you're being an idiot, we're going to read it off and let you get embarrassed by everybody. So that's just funny. But J-Man, anything else to add today?
No, it's just good to get an episode out there.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're
going to touch base.
We're going to try to keep it out there.
Yeah.
We're busy guys. Well, from J-Man and I here in South Texas at Running Code, we appreciate y'all for joining this week. Everybody be safe. Brothers and sisters, watch your backs. Watch each other's backs. Stay healthy. Read up on case laws. Know your job. You cannot claim ignorance later. Mm-hmm. And, well, I guess we're out here.
Yeah.